Hello there, this is Bernardo here. Welcome to another Unsubjective Reality video. On today's video, we're going to be talking Formula One. Today is the first ever simultaneous car launch event in London, where all the teams are launching their new liveries and presenting to the public their driver lineup, which of course everyone already knows, alongside their team principals. So, as a huge F1 fan that I am and have been since I was a little kid, I wanted to talk a little bit about a process that has been happening um, to Formula One over the last 8 years, which I'm describing as the process of Americanization of Formula One, which is a process that has been happening to the sport since 2017 when it was bought by Liberty Media, which is an American conglomerate. And they've been, by many business and marketing tactics, able to boost the popularity of Formula One by a large margin, and arriving at the point where we are today with the first ever simultaneous car launch in Formula One history. So I wanted to make a deeper dive into what Liberty Media has done right to turn Formula One from a very niche European niche sport into this global entertainment phenomenon that we see today. Um, so I guess a little bit of background for us to arrive in 2017 when F1 was bought by Liberty Media. F1 in the previous years, previous decades, was run by Bernie Ecclestone, was a very controversial leader, and he wanted to keep F1 a very exclusive, high-end, European-focused niche product, and it worked for many years. There was this mystique around the sport, and it was this ultra premium product that had this very high broadcasting deals, but with little to no interest in engaging casual fans and expanding that audience further down. And by the mid 2010s, this strategy was collapsing. It was showing its massive holes. And that's when Liberty Media came in and purchased Formula One for $4.4 billion. And Liberty Media, being an American organization, did a whole restructuring of the marketing, the branding, and the business itself. Adding new structures and new aspects to the Formula One business that turned it into what it is today. So I wanted to talk a little bit about how that started. So I think the first thing that Liberty Media did right was to see the potential of the sport and to have the realization that it needed to evolve in order to survive and thrive. And I think that the first thing that they did right was shift their approach from a more just European based niche approach to turn it into a more global product. And I believe that the first knockout move that they did, which was a huge success, was starting the Formula One Drive to Survive, which was a Netflix show that first aired in 2019. The new season is coming up on March. And I think what Drive to Survive did so well was sell personalities, sell stories, and sell rivalries that you didn't really see before Liberty Media came in Formula One. It was very focused, on the cars, on the teams, but little to nothing was shown and shared of the drivers, their personalities, the rivalries that go on behind the scenes, even the team principals. They all became the focus of attention with Drive to Survive. It really gave a behind the scenes look to the fan and maybe the casual fan that didn't really care about F1 much, and they could get a deeper understanding of what really goes on in the sport. And of course, the technicalities behind the cars and aerodynamics and tires, what differentiates one tire from the other, stuff that the Formula One did not do a good job in exploring and breaking down to the fan before it was bought by Liberty Media. So I think what Drive to Survive did was appeal to a newer audience, especially I think younger fans and women, who was a demographic which is a demographic that wasn't really into Formula One before this shift in 2017. Also because Formula One did not make the effort to reach this audience, and I think Liberty Media, of course, did a fantastic job in doing that. And Drive to Survive was the first big move that they made, and it's been a huge hit. The numbers speak for themselves. and the growth of the sport and the popularity of Drive to Survive has been massive. And it's a page taken straight out of the American sports playbook, to turn athletes into superstars. American sports have done that so well in all of their main watched and main sports. You see basketball players, you have the Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James. They're not just athletes; they are superstars on and off the court. Or your Tom Brady. These guys have created a massive fan base and attracted so many viewers to their sport by having that personal branding, being so invested in off their field or off their court. And F1 really did that with Drive to Survive by really turning these drivers and even the team principals into superstars. It created that calculating storytelling, which is always a very effective marketing technique and works so well with F1, which is a very high drama packed sport, and there's a lot of rivalry and a lot of conflict behind the scenes. So them, leaning into that and exploring that, and sometimes even creating some of these narratives, it works well with the public. It draws attention, and it's been a big hit for them. And marketing wasn't the only play that Liberty Media used in order to value their Formula One product. Under their leadership, they ballooned the Formula One calendar with more races. Last year, 2024, they had a record 24 races, and that was a strategy to expand the product itself. They added key races in big American markets, the Miami Grand Prix, which is a very party-styled race, almost like the Super Bowl. Even Lewis Hamilton said that the Miami Grand Prix was the Super Bowl of Formula One, and Las Vegas, which screams American entertainment. The Las Vegas Grand Prix with the cars just speeding through Las Vegas Boulevard, Las Vegas Strip. So uh, that race being held at night, just the more you can't get more American extravagant with that, and it's a strategy that's been paying off so much for Liberty Media and for Formula One. And then they also added the sprint races to the Grand Prix weekends, to some selective Grand Prix weekends, which is a technique that's very used in American motorsport. This was clearly made to add more high stakes action to the Grand Prix weekends, and also to make it more digestible to fans that maybe aren't as invested as the old school OG Formula One fans. And that's also been a very big success. Of course, some traditionalists pushed back on this idea, but Liberty Media didn't really care. They weren't very worried about the tradition, but more so as the engagement. And engagement, of course, means money, especially in this Americanization process that F1's been undergoing for these last 8 years. Um, the monetary and financial expansion of the sport has been tremendous also under Liberty Media. And the latest change that F1 has implemented this year in 2025 was the simultaneous car launch event in the O2 Arena in London, um, in almost like an NFL draft style, where all the cars and liveries and drivers and team principals were being unveiled at once, simultaneously, just to create that high impact moment rather than having all the car launches scattered across, a week or two right before the beginning of the season. It just creates that another mega moment where they get all the superstars gathered and make this huge event with all of them there and show all the new cars. And it's just a brilliant move. I think they improved another small aspect of the product by something as simple as, instead of making the car launches scattered, they just turned it into one single event and are going to be able to capitalize so much on the media aspect of it. And again, adding another Americanized aspect to the sport, right? It's not all about the cars, it's about the spectacle, it's about the moment, it's about the engagement. And like I said, creating that sort of NFL draft atmosphere to the car launch or a Super Bowl halftime show, which is just genius. I think it's a tremendous idea, and it's an event that's happening today. So we'll see how the public reacts to it and how the media reacts to it. But I do think it's a great idea. And, the results of this um, marketing Americanization move are they speak for themselves. The viewership in the U.S. has doubled. You have tech and lifestyle brands fighting each other for sponsorship deals with F1 teams and with F1 itself. You have merchandise sales as an all-time high. The Grand Prix weekend experience has been completely transformed, and it's become more of this full event. It's this full action-packed, entertainment-packed event that, of course, is going to make the consumer happier. The more you can enhance the product that you're selling and that you're delivering, the more the customer is going to engage with your product and is going to engage with your brand. And then, of course, that brings viewership, that brings sponsorships, that brings ticket sales also at an all-time high, and it just values the Formula One product year by year. So Liberty Media, of course, has done a tremendous job at that. And they understood that nostalgia doesn't really pay the bills, but expansion does. And I think looking into the future, traditionalists are probably going to keep pushing back. But I don't think that Liberty Media is going to pay too much attention to that. They're going to keep doing everything they can to maximize this expansion of their product. It's not really just about motorsport anymore. It's about being a global entertainment product. And they've done so well over their last few years doing that. So I expect more of the same formula in the next coming years. So all things considered, I think that Liberty Media did a masterclass in revitalization of Formula One and turning into a full experience, not only for the OG traditional Formula One fans, but also for newer audience and to boost their reach and engagement and reach new audiences and grow the product. So as far as business and marketing goes, I think that this is a case to be studied by companies and to be mirrored, because the results are really astounding. So yeah, that's my whole analysis of the Americanization of Formula One. If you like F1, let me know in the comments what you think of this process and where you think the sport is headed in the next few years. And we'll see you in the next video talking some more business.